somebody put, I won't say who it is. This is so bang on. Enormous rage coming up here. Totally get why terrorists act in this huge unconscious rage. Yeah, like the shooting over the weekend in America. Because what's happened with that guy that did the shooting is that again and again and again, his body has interpreted that humans have done something bad to him, have let him down, have hurt him. And so the shooting comes from this wanting to punish those that they see having hurt him. But it's not true. There isn't somebody that's hurt him. It's all misconceptions. Like, you wouldn't see a dog doing that. Like, a dog will attack because of its conditions and the way it's set up. But you wouldn't see a dog that wants to kill itself. It then takes out 50 or 55 humans before it kills itself. It's like that human wants to punish, whereas the dog, when it attacks, it doesn't want to punish. It's just got the feeling of attack coming up. And the reason the human wants to punish is because of the way we think. It keeps thinking that other humans have been unfair. And of course that's the way it's going to think, because at the moment we're living in an identified society, and the society is all about grabbing money for yourself, grabbing success for yourself, and being better than your neighbor, richer than your neighbor, more successful than your neighbor. Like, and so your neighbor is not, it's not that they want to hurt you, but the neighbor's trying to get the money from you, and you're trying to get the money from your neighbor. I don't mean directly your neighbor, but I mean others. Like everybody's trying to have a piece of the cake in our society, and it's like our society, the way it functions, is in identified way. When there's no identity there, I don't think that we would live in a society like this. It's got great things, this society. The fact that I can be on YouTube talking about this now is amazing, and that I'm a woman and that I don't have to just be having kids. I can do all these different things. It's amazing compared to what it has been and what it's come from, but there's still so much way to go. Like, nobody needs to go hungry. Nobody ever needs to have the feeling of being homeless. And most people in our society, even rich people, feel that all the time, and fear going hungry and fear being left out. And therefore, they're constantly struggling to get and retain the money for themselves. And most of society is doing that. And I really appreciate it when I see somebody that's working in the world and not doing that. Like, I love, like, so there's somebody that I really respect who created something, and without advertisement just made it available for people and made it available at a really fair price, and it went viral, and they were really successful without advertisement. I love that. That really is inspiring, and this is the way it should be, that things are really appreciated for what they are. We're not sold that there's something lackful about us and therefore we need this. That's what most of the advertising is doing. I really respect it when somebody chooses not to use advertisement. I think that's really beautiful, but we're so used to that in our society. It's the norm. Everybody advertises themselves, and everybody is saying, this is going to complete you, this is the best product, rather than there just being an appreciation of a product and going towards it then, because everybody's fighting for the money. And then this is how we use too much of our resources and we destroy our environment. There's also good things about advertising, and the competition brings prices lower, but that doesn't seem like the right way to do it, or the intelligent way to do it. It's all mentalities. So you can understand why that guy wanted to kill humans before he killed himself, because he wanted to punish those that he'd seen hurting him. Every time he'd spent money, he might have felt like that. Every time someone didn't love him that he loved, and that he didn't get what he wanted, and that other people had power over him, his mind kept registering that, not because that's truth, but because that's the way we're taught to think in our society. Imagine if we didn't have a word of you and I. Imagine if we didn't have a word of unfairness, of victim, of hatred. Like, all these things are things that we've invented. They're not fact. Imagine like life and death. If we didn't have the words for this, we wouldn't experience that on the human level. It's just that our brains produce those thoughts, and that's what we think the world is, when it's not that. Like, imagine if we were taught that who we were and the world was infinite. We'd have such different perspectives on reality. I totally believe that identification comes with with thinking, or comes from thinking. But it is an energy identification, but it forms from having an intelligent brain, from the ability to be able to think the way we think, in opposites and this and that, and right and wrong and good and bad and you and I. And then we create all these thought patterns, and most people get stuck in the negative thought patterns because we're trying to not have those negative thought patterns. So in a way, we're attracting them by trying to avoid them. So we can feel rage about something, so we try to push that rage away, and the rage hums and vibrates, and then we kind of attract that because inside us we fear it, so there's too much attention on it.